welcome everybody on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation, City and County of Denver, to our official launch for our Emerald Ash Borer Awareness Program, known as Be a Smart Ash. I really appreciate all of you coming today, our volunteers and our partners and my co-workers, to help raise awareness today on helping our residents and our community better understand the dangers and risks that are associated with emerald ash borer. I've got some really great people I'm going to introduce to you today to say a few things, and overall we're just going to get people started this week, helping our property owners understand if they have an ash tree and what their options are to deal with those trees. So I don't want to take up too much of the time here. I'm going to start by introducing our Executive Director of Parks and Recreation, Happy Haynes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it is a good morning. It stopped raining. The sun is out. It's a beautiful day. We have a few messages to bring you. I know you're distracted by the wonderful staff we have high up in the trees, and you'll get a chance to learn a little bit more about what they do later this morning. I am here to welcome all of you to this event. It's a very important kickoff of this campaign, Be a Smart Ash, work that Rob and his team have led over the months so that we can get ahead of this problem. I'd first like to acknowledge our two elected officials here. You'll hear from them in just a moment. The most wonderful mayor in America, Michael B. Hancock, and Councilman Jolon Clark, who represents District 7. And I don't know if Councilman Albus Brooks is here. He may be along shortly. Denver's parks, parkways, and neighborhoods would not be the same without our trees. I think you would agree with me. Their beauty invites us to commune with nature, and it offers us refuge from the mile-high sun. Trees are special. They certainly are to me. They represent strength and a steady constant. Imagine this park or any place in our city without trees. While many things about a neighborhood may change, the trees are often the things that stay the same. When I bought my house a few years ago, my mother accused me of really buying trees rather than the house. The house just kind of came along with it. She knew in my search that I went around the neighborhoods and I really was drawn to the homes that had wonderful trees. The lush Denver landscape that planners envisioned 100 years ago and have worked to implement ever since is at risk from the emerald ash borer, which has the potential to kill 1 in 6 of the city's trees. And you've seen the trees marked here today. You'll see many more throughout the park, and I invite you to take a walk or a drive around and just reflect on what it means if we don't do something about this problem, what it could mean just for City Park. Our park system currently houses about 10,000 ash trees. They were the most popular park trees in the 1990s. Many of those ash trees are now mature trees whose shade offers a place to play, picnic, or just simply to relax. Think of all the memories made under these trees over the years and the stories they might tell. Beyond their character and visual appeal, however, our trees are an invaluable resource in our city, and especially in urban areas. They provide an estimated $122 million annually in environmental services for Denver, including stormwater management, summer cooling, CO2 carbon storage, air quality improvements, and increased property values. For these reasons, the office of our city forester is dedicated to preserving our tree canopy. Besides, they're all tree huggers, as you can see. As a result of watching the emerald ash borer devastate tree populations in cities throughout the United States, through the Midwest particularly, our forestry team has developed a 15-year plan to fight this destructive infestation, which includes replacing small ash trees on city-maintained land and diversifying our tree canopy, treating irreplaceable historic ashes, such as these that you see here in City Park, and launching the Be a Smart Ash campaign to educate our residents about the emerald ash borer, who you see before us on the poster here, many times larger than it actually is. But we want to educate our residents about the emerald ash borer and the potential impact to their property, empowering them to take action along with us. I'd like to thank the operations and maintenance staff for keeping our parks beautiful, and our foresters for their commitment to ensuring a healthy, sustainable tree canopy for future generations. It's a partnership and it's a family in Denver Parks and Recreation, and it takes every one of us to maintain these wonderful parks and these amazing trees. Thank you all as well for being here and for your interest in helping protect these jewels in our city.
Thank you very much, Happy. Next up, we have Councilman Jolon Clark, who I had the pleasure of taking to the Midwest with me not too long ago to visit some other larger cities that are further along in emerald ash borer. So please welcome Councilman Clark.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you all for being here today. I think that this is such an important thing for us to be doing as a city. Denver is a city in a forest, but it's not a natural forest. It's a forest that was built by generations of Denverites who came before us and understood that while they might never fully reap the benefits of those trees they were planting, the impact to our city would echo for generations. The only trees that were here before Denver was a city are the cottonwoods down by the South Platte River and our other waterways. The rest of the trees, all the trees that we see here, were planted by people. And today we stand looking at the biggest threat ever to what those who came before us built. For those of you who lived in Denver through the devastating loss to our parks, streets, and neighborhoods from the Dutch elm disease, the emerald ash borer threatens to kill 10 times the number of trees, and possibly as quickly as over the next 10 years. In a single decade, the loss of 10 times the trees we lost to Dutch elm. Thanks to our city's forester, Rob Davis, I was able to travel with a team from the city to see the devastation that this pest has brought on communities across the Midwest. It was sobering. Entire streets, entire communities who had lost all of their shade, all of their tree forts, all of their tire swings, all of the benefits of tree-lined streets, and sometimes there in the space of 5 years. EAB has already been found in Boulder, and it's my belief that it is already here in Denver. It takes a while to find this bug, and most communities, by the time they find it, they're 3, 4, sometimes even 5 years into that infestation. The time to act if we're going to save our tree canopy, the time to act if we're going to start rebuilding a canopy, the canopy that we're going to lose, is now. And we're very lucky in the city to have the leadership who understands this. So I just want to stand up here and thank again our forester, Rob Davis, for his incredible leadership bringing this issue to the forefront. I want to thank Happy Haynes, our Parks and Rec Executive Director, for pushing this as a critical issue to act on now. And I really want to thank our great mayor for his visionary leadership on this. It would have been really easy to just say, oh, let's wait and see what happens on this one. It would have been really easy to wait until there were trees dying by the hundreds in Denver to say this is a big problem, this is a catastrophe in our city. But Mayor Hancock didn't do that. He stepped up and he set the bar nationally across this country really high for what it looks like for early engagement, early management, and early adoption of an education campaign and treatment for mitigating the loss from EAB. So for that, to these three standing behind me, all of us as Denver residents are in their debt. So let's give it up for the three of them. But most importantly today, we can't do this without all of your help. Today, this campaign is launching because we need each and every Denver resident to be a part of this fight to preserve, protect, and replace our urban canopy. Just like those who've come before us, we need to work together to make sure that Denver will be a city in the forest for generations to come. So please, today, become a smart ash. Learn how to identify the emerald ash borer and help us find where it is in Denver. Learn how to identify an ash tree, and if you have one on your private property, work to protect it. And finally, I'm asking each and every one of you to plant a new tree this year. We have to replace the trees that we'll lose from EAB now. We have to have them start growing now. We can manage this infestation. We can slow the loss of our trees, but we have to start planting trees that can start growing if we're going to preserve that canopy. So thank you so much for being here, for being a part of this, and for starting to get involved as we fight this pest. Thank you very much.
Councilman Clark has just been a great advocate for us, really has understood the issues, and I really appreciate you just being here for us and actually taking such an interest in this. So just one round of applause, one more for Councilman Clark, please. So the mayor and I have some things in common. One of those is we're both huge Denver Bronco fans. Last fall, the mayor challenged me, what is your Gary Kubiak type plan to fight emerald ash borer? And you saw how that worked out the last season. I hope our plan is as good as Gary's was. But I just really appreciate our mayor and his recognition of being proactive, not waiting, trying to set a national level program in Denver that other cities are going to say, hey, look at what Denver did. Look at how Denver educated its residents. And I just really appreciate having this mayor here to support us at this time, and it's perfect to protect these trees. And so, without going on and on, Mayor Michael Hancock.
Thanks, Rob. Let me thank all of you for being here today, and let me thank Happy and Councilman Jolon Clark for those, I think, very important words, and certainly to Rob Davis. 2 years ago, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, he sounded this alarm to me and to the cabinet about this concern about the emerald ash borer. This is, it was a very important alarm. He didn't come and say, the sky is falling, you better act now. He did it in a very deliberate and educational manner, one in which we walked out of the room clearly understanding the consequences of not doing anything, and clearly understanding that we had an opportunity to step up and to get ahead of the challenges that might be presented by this little green bug. So let me say a couple things. First of all, we are fortunate today to have sun. If the sun doesn't shine for 65 or 70 days a year in Denver, we have used up all of them in 2016. So we're glad to see the sun is shining today, and we get a chance through the sunshine to see all the ash trees that align this park. Today, there are some 440 ash trees that have been wrapped here in City Park. If you drive through this city, and as many of us who've grown up here, as Happy pointed out, we know areas, and now that we look at these trees and we know how to recognize an ash tree, we know areas like Park Hill that have full blocks and tree lines of ash trees adorning the neighborhoods. And so it is very important. Why do we promote this new campaign called Be a Smart Ash? And I gotta be really deliberate about saying that because I have teenage children. It's usually preceded by don't. But Be a Smart Ash is a very important campaign. Let me tell you why. This is not a cheap effort. To protect this canopy, to protect the ash trees, to get ahead of this bug in Denver, it is going to be very expensive. But the consequences of not doing what we have to do to get ahead of the emerald ash borer, the costs are prohibitive, devastating. Not only is the beauty of our community and our parks and our blocks threatened. But the cost of removal, the cost of replanting and starting over can be devastating to this city, devastating to the values of our blocks and our homes, and devastating to really the appreciation of our parks and our canopy. And so it is very important today that we move forward to protect our canopy that is at risk. As Councilman Clark pointed out, and as Rob pointed out, the emerald ash borer was spotted in Boulder in 2013. In all likelihood, it is close to Denver, if not already here. And we have a potential to destroy 1 in 6 of our city's trees. And Metro Denver, in all, has 1.4 million ash trees at risk. And so we begin to understand the seriousness of this risk. So not only do we stand the potential of losing trees, but there is a potential cause of millions of dollars in damage to our urban canopy, comparable to the destruction caused, as Councilman Jolon Clark pointed out, to the pine beetle. We can do better than that, and we will. And so thankfully, we have a smart city forester in Rob Davis and the entire team. And we want the city to know that the city is 100% committed to battling this borer. Today, we take the first step by launching the 5-year Be a Smart Ash campaign. The campaign is aimed to encourage residents to be smart about their ash trees. We wanted a campaign that would actively educate and turn Denver residents into smart ashes who can identify, treat, and of course replace their ash trees both now and over the course of the next 15 years. And so I want to again thank everyone for being here. I think we're going to talk about some of the tools that are available online, as well as resources that the residents can reach out to. Rob, you're going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that residents know where to go, how to learn how to recognize, and what are some of the first steps to begin to treat their ash. But I want to share with you that we have not only proclaimed this 5-year program, but I have also signed a proclamation that we are proclaiming today, May 2nd, 2016, to be a Smart Ash Day in Denver, Colorado, to raise awareness and to alert our residents it's time to act. Thank you all very much for being here. You bet.
So 100 years ago, Mayor Robert Spear did a great job of deciding to change the face of Denver through planting lots and lots of trees. And just one round of applause again for our mayor, now 100 years later, taking action to protect what was built so many years ago. Thank you, Mayor Michael Hancock. Just a couple more thanks. I wanted to just a round of applause for the people in my program that do so much work in the Department of Parks and Rec, the arborists and the trees and our inspectors and foresters around us. Just a round of applause for all of their hard work. And the park people, I want to just say really quick, our nonprofit partner, they're going to be huge in helping us find new planting spaces for our communities across all of Denver. So thank you to the parks people helping us get trees planted. And lastly, we're going to have lots of great information available on beasmartash.org. If anybody wants to get in there and start to educate and learn more about this problem, we really would appreciate everybody educating themselves and moving forward. And we'll all be around if there's other additional questions, but overall, that's the end of what we've got for you guys. So thank you all very, very much for coming, taking time out of your morning, and getting to feel another beautiful day here in Colorado outside of the rain. So, yes, sir.
About the website.
Okay, so again, beasmartash.org. It's got lots of great information out there for anybody that wants to go in, find out if you've got an ash tree on your street. We've got our street tree inventory building. You could actually go in and find out what trees are along your street. Lots of information about how to make those good decisions on whether or not to treat, to remove, to just hold tight, kind of giving some good education out there to our public so that we can all be smart ashes here in Denver. So again, thank you all for coming. And we'll be available for any further questions after the event here. So thank you all for coming.